Well, welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a hot bead pheasant tail nymph. The hook I have in the vise is a standard nymph hook. This is a size 10, and I have a 5mm glass bead on there. It's orange. I'm going to add some weight on there. I'm going to use 20 thousandths lead-free wire. And we're just going to get this lead at the front. We're going to start about where it would touch the point of the hook. And we're going to go forward. And we'll break that off. And we'll go ahead and get that back piece off. I'm going to use some brown thread, and this is 70 denier. You want to use a dark thread or a tan thread, but we're going to make it so we won't see the thread. We're going to start that thread behind the lead wraps. We're going to push that lead up to the bead and secure that. And we want to eliminate that step there. I'm going to go ahead and put some more wraps on there to eliminate that step. Bring it all the way back to where I would stop it, and then I'm going to go forward, kind of build a little bit of a taper here. I'm going to start out, I'm going to use a piece of gold wire. You can use a copper wire. And like I said, I'm just going to take that gold wire, I'm going to put it up to the lead wraps, and that will start to help us fill in that step. I'm going to take the pheasant tail, and this isn't a center tail, this is a side tail. You can see how much softer this is on the bottom of the tail, and I use this for several already, and this is much stiffer. You can just take some of those. You can see they're much stiffer there. I'm going to pull that off. We can go ahead and take the end of that off there. Going to measure them to size, and we want them to be about the length of the body. Just a stubby little tail there. And we'll secure that with a couple of wraps. Throw a wrap underneath the tail there. I'll pull that. I'm going to take my pheasant tail. I'm going to fold that back. If you find yourself getting too much of a lump by folding it back, you can just simply cut it off and reattach it. And we're going to bring our thread up to the thorax area. I'm going to go ahead and take my hackle pliers. I got the EZ hackle pliers. And these hackle pliers are simply an electrical tester. You can get these at Radio Shack even with a wire on it. You can see there's a little hole right here. There was a wire on this going to another one. You could have two of them. I'm going to take that and just wind that just a little bit, just so it doesn't split. I got one broke off right there already. Just going to pull that one out of the way. And we're going to wrap this forward. Careful of that point. And you may have to twist your hackle pliers as you're going. And we're going to secure that right there. Take our scissors and trim off that excess. I'm going to take our gold wire and I'm going to counter wrap that. Being the opposite direction, I wrapped the pheasant tail. And this helps to secure it and add just a little bit of color in there. These orange beads are pretty good. I've used these on several different flies and they work, they produce pretty good. One good thing that I had pretty good success with them was a woolly bugger or an egg-sucking leech with this orange bead on there. I'm going to just helicopter that wire off. Now I'm going to take my pheasant tail feather once again, and I'm going to take a decent amount of these. And I have probably approximately an inch of those. Pull those off. And you want to try to keep those tips as much aligned as you possibly can. I'm going to go ahead, and these are going to be legs. So I'm going to extend them past the back of the bead a little bit, as much as I want them to when I fold them back. I'm going to bring my thread up. And we'll secure them. And just bring that thread back. Then we can divide them and pull them back. But first, what we need is a thorax. And for the thorax, I'm going to use Peacock Herl. I have a couple of them on my table here. I'm going to tie them in by the tip. These Peacock Herl, I got the large. When you buy Peacock Herl or strung Peacock Herl, you see it's strung. You want the large size. You get several flies from a pair of Peacock Herl. And we're going to take this and we're going to wrap this. And we'll tie that off. And you can break off the excess. Now we're going to take the tips of the feather and we're going to divide them in half and tie them back. You want to make sure you get them on the side. Just squeeze them all together. There we go. Now we can take our wing case, fold that over. And we'll trim off the excess. And what I like to do on my bead heads is put a little bit of dubbing on the hook, because you see we got a little bit of thread there. Just put a small amount of dubbing. Try to get something that's going to match, that's going to come close to the color. I have a little bit of chestnut colored dubbing here. Just going to wrap a small skinny noodle. It's a little bit lighter, not a big deal. And before I wrap the very last of it, I'm going to put my Put it on my whip finish. The whole purpose of this is more of hiding the thread. Go ahead and trim that away. Get a little bit of head cement on the bead there. And that will run down into the head there. Put a little bit of head cement on the wing case if you'd like. And here we have a hot bead head pheasant tail nymph. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave questions, comments, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.